Hi and welcome to the Science Fantasy Experience. As most of you know already, when it comes to toy collecting and my collection, I like to get, or I am keen on acquiring, toy representations of characters or vehicles or something to do with my favourite movies, and especially my favourite movies of all time. And one such movie is Tron. I have loved Tron ever since I first saw it when it came out. You know, I was 4 or 5, and even back then it blew me away, and I've just watched it a lot ever since I was young. You know, I grew up in the 80s, I went to arcades, I played and programmed on the Spectrum 48K and the Commodore 64. Not as much as my brother, but I was definitely surrounded by those types of experiences, and seeing Flynn go into, you know, the computer world, the grid, it's mind-blowing. It's just absolutely incredible, and to this day I absolutely love the look and the feel of how that movie is, from the computer generated artwork when they're on the light cycles, just the way that they blended live action, rotoscoping and CG, and along with the kind of the technical bit of making the red and the blues really fluoresce. Awesome. There's not any other film like it. You know, the TV show Automan used the same sort of technology. It epitomizes, you know, that early 80s and the burgeoning of computers. And Tron was one of the first films from TV that we recorded onto VHS when we got our VCR. You know, it was a very proud day when my dad came back with a brand new telly and VCR made by Matsui. You know, it wasn't as big as our previous TV, you know, a big round screen with a faux wooden bit, but my dad came home all plugged in, and then I feel like it was possibly like the next day, my dad came home with it on like a Friday night, hooked it all up, and then the next day Tron was on TV. And my brother had the ingenious idea of, when we recorded it, we'd pause when the commercial breaks were on, because I think it was shown on ITV on Central, so we could watch it uninterrupted. We wore that tape out, and we never thought to re-record it again when it was on, you know, later on, a few years later. But what we did do is we got an official VHS, and that's what makes this set from Diamond Select Toys possibly one of the most amazing figures and boxes that I own. This is the San Diego Comic-Con VHS edition Tron. So we have got 7 inches of incredible action figure designed to look like he does on the front cover of the video. I'm going to tackle the box first because I gush over packaging when it's done well. I always say it's an integral part of toy collecting. You know, sometimes you get a good box, sometimes you get a poor box. Because this is inspired by the film and the VHS release, the box is made to look just like a tape. It is the original cover of the movie. So you've got Tron lifting up his data disc, all that beautiful colour. It looks stunning, and it is a beautiful homage to the movie, but the whole shape is just like a video cassette, from the indentations all around, the authentic metallic seal. Whenever you bought a video, you know, you were told before the trailers to look for the shiny part to make sure it was a legitimate and not a pirated copy of a video. Looking at the back again, designed just like a VHS tape cassette, with a wonderful picture of the figure, a bit of a dialogue, you know, just as you would get a movie synopsis, and then other ones in the line available, Flynn and Sark, but done to kind of replicate a scene from the movie, and then just a little bit of a throwback to the light cycle. What I hadn't realised, because I've had this for a good couple of months now, I got it as soon as it was released, and it's just kind of, it's been on display and I've put it in different poses. What I hadn't realised is I have a number 1 out of the 3,000 that they made. So months and months have passed and I'd not realised I'd got the first one made. Well, I don't know if it's the first one made, but obviously the first one that has been stickered up out of the limited run. I don't know if that means anything in terms of making it more desirable, but I've bought limited edition pieces before, and I've never had a number 1, so that's a real thrill in itself. Opening up the box for the first time was incredible, because I had not known what it was going to look like. I opened it to see translucent plastic everywhere, so you get 2 extra discs, a stand and the one that he's got in his hand at the moment, but the figure is hidden by an actual tape cassette. That, I think I was crying, because it was so unexpected and such another cool addition. And then you reveal the figure inside with its extra hands. Whoever designed it, they put so much thought and effort, and they were sympathetic to the subject matter, because, you know, it's designed for collectors, obsessive collectors, people that are just so enamoured by the film and by VHS. But you flip it over and you can see the other 4 characters available. You know, you've got Flynn, you've got 2 types of Flynn. One where he takes on the red just to stay hidden with the extra sash. And you've got Tron, and you've got Sark, the bad guy. From what I've seen, Sark's even bigger than 7 inches. He towers over Flynn, and he's just that little bit bigger than Tron. And obviously the Tron that I have is slightly different to the standard release, but God, these look so good. They've handled the blue and red so well. You know, I'm not a completionist, but I'd like to pick up a Sark at some point. You know, I often mention how I have this rule about collecting that, you know, I have one good guy and one bad guy. Never really happens. But to give myself a kind of a, not a holy grail, but an added number to the wish list in terms of toy collecting over the next few years, is to get a Sark. The figure though, the figure is something else. Diamond Select seem to love making 7-inch figures. I have 3 Diamond Select figures. I actually have 4. I have a very I say very old, it's 2002, Battle of the Planets Princess. So that's when Diamond Select were really kind of coming to the furore of toys, and that's, even now 20 years later, it's such a great figure, but different. It's, you know, it's chalky, but this, it's just absolutely stunning. There's something about 7-inch scale that I really enjoy. It gives you that extra height, that extra kind of build compared to, you know, the likes of NECA that stick to kind of 6-inch. You look at the Super 7s, He-Man figures, they're staying around the 5 mark. Something vintage, such as Toxie or a Machine Robo. Again, here's a Diamond Select. We've got the Rocketeer, again, 7 inches. But it has presence. In some ways it's kind of got elongated legs, but you know, the character of Tron, he was much bigger than Flynn. You know, they've captured Bruce Bottler's face beautifully, and all the detail of, you know, the computer workings of a program living in the grid. Standard articulation, head moves, shoulders, elbows, hands. There's no waist swivel, but it's an ab swivel and a slight crunch. And then you've got bendable knees and ankle rockers. It's just standard affair for a figure like this, you know. Unless you're going down the realms of McFarlane with your 22 points of articulation on a Fortnite figure, which, you know, that's incredible. The amount of articulation you can get from this, it's still so good, and you can get awesome poses. The range of poses, it's just, you have infinite possibilities. You know, I've just added the stand for some extra support, swapped out a hand and put in a different, you know, action piece. It makes the figure absolutely come alive. You know, it's all I've done for the past few months is put it into different positions pretty much every weekend. So good. You can just get so creative with your poses and just have so much fun with it. I'm absolutely enamoured with this figure. It's untrue, but the fun does not stop there. It has one extra feature. So let's enter the grid. When you shine a UV light on the figure, it absolutely comes alive. The fluorescent parts just absolutely pop, and it's all over. It's absolutely all over the figure. It's such an incredible play feature. It's just, as I mentioned before, it's just, they've really been sympathetic and come up with such a good added play feature to this figure. I get speechless sometimes when it comes to toys, when they've been so beautifully designed. The San Diego 2020 VHS edition of Tron. I've been Rudy Sassou, and always remember, it's as much about play as it is display. Thanks for watching.